Hello everyone, Juice Bags here, and welcome back to some Orcs Must Die 3 and my Warmage difficulty 5 skull guide playthrough. Next up we have the Mage Tower. It's another war scenario, and oh man, I just love these things. Let's go get it. Alright, so here we go in the Mage Tower. As you see here, we've got two wide open paths with their own entrances on the opposite sides of this large Mage Tower. Now, as you can imagine, we are going to have some stairs looping around inside, but let's take a look at what happens here. So enemies are going to run in, and then they've got their nearest stairs right here. Now, we can't block outside to force everything to one entrance, but we will be able to block things inside to force everything over to one of these lanes. Now, this particular map, with the layout outside, you can use your large war siege defenses. However, they're going to cost you a ton, and you're going to have to do some pathing out here as the lanes are just super wide. And it's going to be a little bit harder to get enemies over onto your traps. So for this particular run, I am just going to set up inside with one big kill box. Now, as you see here, we are, if you look at the mini-map, we are at the north lane, and this is the lane where you want your kill box to be. Now, the reason here is, of course, this is a war scenario, so there is going to be a boss. The boss on this one is going to be a kobold boss that will jump over barricades. So he is going to come out of the north lane. Now, since he's coming from the north lane, that's the lane you want him running up. He's going to run directly up this one as it is the closest path. Of course, if you blocked this side and had your kill box coming up this way, then the boss would just come right in, hop over the barricade, and run up the stairs, and it's going to be GG there. Now, we do have 25 minutes, but it's only 5 waves, so one of the struggles with building inside on the war scenarios, of course, is your par time. We're going to have just plenty of par time to be able to get it done, since there is just 5 waves on this one. Now, I go with a pretty basic loadout here. I've got my trusty bow, of course. We're bringing along that ice amulet again, the jar of ghosts. We are going to bring some auto ballistas this time to get a little hard-hitting single target power going there. Then we've got our trusty brimstone. Now, it is important to note on this map, there is a ton of fire fiends that are going to be coming. So you don't want to stack up a bunch of fire damage, so I did switch my brimstone over to arcane. Now we've got the tar trap in the mix, the lovely grinder, the arrow wall, barricades, but of course, and the window of butterflies. So going ahead and checking it out here, we're not concerned with combos. All we care about is our stars, or our skulls, pardon me. So since that is the case, we don't really, we can do something like get real spammy. So I'm going to do exactly that and get super spammy. Now remember, if you stack a defense directly on top of another defense, like this, the little orcs are not going to hit it. However, any of those tall fellas, the ogres, the trolls and whatnot, they are going to trigger all this stuff. So I like to throw in just a few arrow walls as well. And then how do we want to start it off? We can just start it off as normal and kind of rotate through using tar and brimstone throughout. We can throw us a window of butterflies right there. I'm going to go ahead and put another one here instead of another arrow wall, just to make sure I have good window coverage. And I think that is probably going to get us set up. I think here I'm going to go with the arrow wall. We'll go with the window of butterflies there as well. Now, the strategy here throughout this is going to be to just freeze the heavy mobs inside of the grinder area. So wave 1, of course, will be the toughest wave. The more we're able to build it out, the better off we are going to be overall here. And once again, the par time is really sketchy when you're looking at it, because you're going to have a ton of mobs. It's 25 minutes and only 5 waves. However, you're not really going to have to worry about the par time towards the end, as the waves do end up going relatively quick once you get things built out. Now, through this first wave, of course, we're going to be like a minute burnt away before our first baddie dies. So you do eat up a little time up front, but it's pretty darn easy to make that time up later in the latter waves. So we got the bads coming in. They're just about through that wall now. Looks like they're finally through that one. They're going to be coming up on that south entrance as well here soon. And you see just no shortage of fiends going on here. That is for sure. I like to use the Jar of Ghosts on those big packs, and then kind of save the mana and my Ice Amulet for when the heavier mobs roll in. Now, it's such a habit to right-click when you're using this bow and get your secondary fire going. You're really gonna want to save up as much of that mana as you can for your Ice Amulet. So avoid the right-click spam. For me personally, that is a very big challenge because I do it a lot. But, you know, got to break some of those simple habits, I guess, just to be able to get the job done. We're going to set up a whole lot of auto ballistas, and we're going to have a massive amount of hard-hitting single target damage. And even though we've got a really small kill box here, it's going to be super easy for us to burn through these heavy mobs with all of those auto ballistas set up and going. We can pop another jar here if we need to. I don't think we really needed to, but, you know, whatever. Keep them fiends at bay. We can go ahead and throw our other arrow wall up there. And, you know, I think it's probably time to start with the ballistas. So I'm going all the way into the back corner over there. And I'm going to go a row of them just across that back corner. Of course, going to need lots more coin to get that all built out. The first wave feels like it runs so slow. You know, 25 minutes and 5 waves, so you figure you got 5 minutes per wave. It feels like it's running super duper slow. As you see, we've already burned almost 3 minutes, and we don't even really have... still got a lot left. I mean, there's enemies on the south lane almost all the way out into the spawn still. I mean, still on the spawn path, for sure anyway. Now, another option here, if you didn't want to bring along, say, the tar, you could get away with not bringing it, and a trap reset trinket would be very helpful. Of course, grinders, we know how grinders are, they like to jam up, and that trap reset trinket will help you out a little bit there. And then plus just the arrow walls and stuff do pack such a punch that being able to reset those on command is kind of a big deal if you wanted to bring that along. I'm just going to go ahead and freeze these trolls up and just keep them in that killing area. We've only got one auto ballista up there now, but once we get a few more up there, oh yeah, these auto ballistas are just going to put in some heavy work. So let's keep throwing them up. Did I miss a slot? No, I thought I missed a slot there. Let's just keep throwing them up. And we want a full row all the way across that little segment of the ceiling tiles there. And let's just go ahead and start going down this row now, since we do have a little bit of leftover coin remaining here. Let's fire it up here. We used, what, 4.5 minutes about of wave 1. That's kind of a youch. That's a lot of time to burn just for wave 1. Because we know we're going to have more and healthier enemies as the waves progress. But, like I mentioned, never fear. You will be able to make that time up quite quickly. Now, this is about the ugliest looking kill box out of all of them so far, I think. You can throw all symmetry completely out the window here, as, you know, this just doesn't look pretty. But it works really good. So, it may not be the prettiest kill box out there, but it is certainly extremely effective, no doubt. And maybe I'll hit one of these shots, you think? Nah. Am I gonna land one? There we go. I shot something. All right, let me quit shooting at them and just focus on what's in front of me here. Lots of bads coming in, and really, it's a small kill box, but I mean, that's 6 grinders in a row that all of these little orcs got to get through. That's a lot of work for these guys to put in. We got a troll up there. Let's go ahead and get the freeze on that guy. Looking good. And pretty much that's it. I'm going to sit here and wait for heavy mobs to come in. And then I'm going to freeze them inside of the kill box. And let those grinders and those autoballistas just put in a lot of work. And we're not done with the autoballistas yet either. Let's get a couple more of those. Very, very nice. We could actually get one more row directly behind those. Now, I space them out like this because ideally I don't want every autoballista hitting the exact same target, you know? They coming. Them baddies is coming. Wave 2 now. We're at the 18-minute and, 35-second mark. You know, based off of the whole 5 minutes per wave thing, we would want to have this wave over prior to 15 minutes remaining. And I think that we're going to have more than enough time to burn through this last group. Now, the south lane has enemies still coming out of the spawn right now. So that's a long run and a bit of part time, but the part time is generous at 25 minutes, there's no doubt. I mean, do I even need the second row? I mean, I don't think I need them, but I think I might want them. Want is always greater than need, right? In the gaming world, anyway. Real life, it's harder to follow that example, but in the gaming world, want definitely wins. Go ahead and fear them up and just start freezing these fatties here. And you see those autoballistas, I don't even need to shoot anymore. There's just enough of them down where you freeze them up, it's just gonna get wrecked. That's just how it is. So why don't we go ahead and just fill out this last row, and then anything more than that, I mean, that's overkill right there as far as the autoballistas go. Now, you've got two options here. I'm going to burn a little bit of part-time because we will have some left over. You can basically just do the same thing at this stair, and then you could go up and do it like at this corner, and then go up and do it at that corner. But the problem here is you're extending the path that the enemies have to run. So instead of going back, we're going to go forward. So I'm going to go ahead and set up everything I can really down in the front area here. So let's go with, we'll get a row of brimstone going. We can let the wave come now. Wave 3 upon us. We're at 16 minutes, so we've earned an extra, 90 seconds there based off of the 5 minutes per wave. So we're starting to get a little bit ahead of the curve, and like I said, the part time is just not going to be an issue. During wave 1, it really feels like it will be. But once wave 1 ends and the enemies start coming and we can start killing more and more up front. Now, the more I can build out, of course, the softer and softer all of the enemies are going to get, which is just going to make, you know, the final waves run quicker and quicker and quicker. Now remember, when the boss comes, the boss is going to hop barricades, so the boss will not do what you want it to. However, it's not immune to the freeze, so you can freeze that bad boy and keep him in place for your final blows. Now, depending on how much we can get set up up front, there's a pretty solid chance that, I mean, we may not have to put too much work into the boss. The first time I did this one, and I didn't know what the boss was going to do or where it was coming from, it caught me off guard, I'm not going to lie, and the boss jumped over one of the barricades and made it through. However, the second you know what the boss is going to do and where he's coming from, it basically makes it GG for that guy, because he's not super stout. He is a wall leaping speedrunner, so definitely not the healthiest mob in the bunch for sure. We can do one more bit of last resort for the boss and go like that, just in case the boss does make it through to this point. That'll give a little whoop-pow right at the end. Now, I hate building back anything at this point. I really want to get everything built forward and in front of the kill box now, and not keep building back. Let's go ahead and fill in those gaps. We'll get some at the actual doorways here in a moment as well. We're getting it though. Lots and lots of fire fiends. That is for damn sure. For such a small little kill box area, I mean, it's extremely effective. You know, and since we're literally only really watching for the heavier enemies, it's tough not to miss an ogre or a troll rolling in that's so big in that general area. Waiting it out. There is much of the part time is burned playing the waiting game here. That's for darn sure. See those auto ballistas. Whatever those all just hit, it stood zero chance. That is for sure. Everything's getting smashed pretty heavily up front now. Little spammy on the ballistas, that's for sure, but you cannot deny their effectiveness. Right, and we're just going to go ahead and get the next wave running just to save as much of that part time as we can. And let's see, let's double dip here. Let's go 3 brimstone on each side of the gate. I won't be able to afford to do that over here, but I can get it started at least. So, oops, placed that one by accident. But let's just go with the 3 brimstone right there, and then we'll get another 3 out there here in just a moment. If this rail wasn't here, you'd be able to really take advantage of some arrow walls right here as well. Actually, you probably still could for the heavier mobs. But you do have to put them up pretty high because of that little, the little side rail going down the sides of the stairs. Come on in, Bads. Come on in. And you see, now that we've got the arcane damage on, these fire fiends come in with a little bit of damage used up. Now it looks like the brimstone's all jammed up now as everything's coming in at full health.
That got the blood pumping.
Oh wow. These trolls and ogres and stuff are coming in really beat up. I mean, they're just not making it very far into the kill box at all.
Do they have any bigger ones?
Jeez. Everything getting smoked at this point, so GG's on this one, that's for sure. At this point here, it's just really all going to be about killing the boss, even without having, oops, wasted a little mana there with the right click. It's just such habit for me to hit right click. You know, if we get more and more set up front, it's just going to add to this power so many times over. Just a big old punch to the face with those auto ballistas. No doubt there. Come on, big mobs. I know you're in there. Where y'all at? Just trying to save up my mana for when the biggies get here. I know these little guys are just not going to make it through six sets of grinders there. That's a little over the top, not including the brimstone and the arrow walls, etc. Very, very much over the top. Here comes another ogre. It looks like we got an armored ogre behind it too. And it's taking some damage. It's getting beat down. Oh wow. That armor ogre just got annihilated. Yeah, I would say I probably have enough auto ballistas. I think that's a very fair statement there. See how fast this troll gets wrecked. Depends on, I mean, they targeted that armored ogre directly. Troll just didn't even make it. It looked like he may have made it to the second grinder. But yeah, we've got many worlds worth of overkill here. So let's go ahead and we'll fire it up and just get ready. You know, we know that it's boss wave. There's a boss coming. Let's throw a row of brimstone there. I mean, what else do we want? Do we need anything else? I mean, we could do that too. Seems kind of pointless, but or overkill.
Out of coin.
But you know, we're throwing more and more flavor up there to get a little orc barbecue going. And now we just want to wait on the boss. Now the boss is going to be really low health just by going over those brimstone. Because remember, it's a super fast barricade jumper. So it just does not have a massive amount of health. I mean, you see what was done to these ogres already. Just lots and lots of upfront power going here. Boss man has still not arrived.
Good workout.
But if you look at our part-time now, there comes the boss, Mongrafil. We've got, what, 8 minutes and 40 seconds left. So, I mean, we've just got a ton of part-time. No doubt there.
He will hop right over any barricades you have as well.
Here he comes. He's rounding the corner now. Really don't think we need anything else, but, you know, I could just spam it. Spam it up just for giggles. Here he comes now. And like I said, you just want to get the freeze on him. And there we go. So, boss down, and now it's just a matter of waiting out the waves. There's a ton of mobs. As you see, they're still coming out of the spawn. The north and the south spawner still has... well, the south spawner definitely just cleared of enemies. It looks like the north spawner may be free of enemies already, but there's a lot of mobs still to come and a long way for them to run, but we've got 7+ minutes left. So at this point, it could be a matter of just chillaxing it out. So by all means, explore the map. Appreciate its beauty and grandeur because, man, I just can't wait to see this thing running on my PC. I cannot wait because it looks good. It looks good while I'm streaming it through Stadia here. I can't even imagine on a gaming PC what it's going to look like. It's going to look nice. So 7 minutes left of that 25-minute part-time. That seemed like it was going to be pretty darn sketchy right at the beginning. But there is 5 skulls on the Mage Tower. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button. Please subscribe. I will be continuing through the rest of the maps. And if there's interest from you all, I will start a Rift Lord difficulty playthrough after this one. So thanks again, everyone. I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.